Art can be therapy. It can also be an escape.
It is therapeutic in the way that it takes some of those concerns that I have and it actually puts them into realization.
Filled a whole gallery, built walls inside of it, did installation pieces, sculpture pieces, illustrations, painted, and then introduced my poetry kind of publicly for the first time. That was the scariest part, was introducing the words.
Welcome to our broadcast today. My name is Billy Anderson. I am the principal voice actor with Billy Anderson Voices. And more importantly, I am proud to be the voice of Veteran Comic-Con with these three individuals who are all veterans about using art as therapy for veterans. I want to start with kind of a newcomer to our Veteran Comic-Con panel family, and that is Kathryn Dworak.
Community is how I try to engage with the world. At heart, I am an isolationist. When things get scary or things get too big or things are just too much, I will go to my workbench and I will hide in my garage and I will play with my knives and with my mallets, and I'll be in my own little bubble. And that's a safer place for me. But that's not necessarily healthy. So art can be therapy. It can also be an escape. But in trying to acknowledge that within myself, I can say, yes, I need this to help me get some of my demons out, but also I can then channel this into belonging to this greater, amazing community. So I don't like selling my art online. I don't like using Etsy or Shopify or anything like that. I specifically target specific conventions throughout the local area. We're starting to get a little bit bigger, might start moving down to Southern California at some point. But I like connecting with the people who are interested in the same things that I am. People come to my booth and they're like, this is pretty, but this is really expensive. It's like, yes, it is, but pick it up. So many people pick it up and they smell it because leather is so tactile and so engaging. And I think that it just makes your gaming experience that much more immersive. And that's one of the things that brought me to Veteran Comic-Con, honestly, is I was looking at different conventions in the area and I'm like, that is the intersection of two of my biggest worlds right now. Veterans are a very unique, large part of the population that is sadly often misunderstood. You don't know unless you've been there, but it's art especially as a way of connecting people. And whether it connects through pain or whether it connects through joy, it is vitally important to create that connection between people, especially right now.
I want to give a chance for the folks that are out there to get to know you guys a little bit more. So I want to ask you kind of what is going on with you now? What are the really important things that are going on in your life as they relate to your artistry and your engagement as standing as an artist who is a veteran? Why don't we start with you, Colin?
So I believe it was May of 2024. I opened up an art installation, filled a whole gallery, built walls inside of it, did installation pieces, sculpture pieces, illustrations, painted, and then introduced my poetry kind of publicly for the first time. Even before I was doing visual art, I was writing throughout my life, but I just never shared it. um, that was the scariest part, was introducing the words. And to this day, when I see people reading it, I kind of just look the other way or walk away and wait till they're done because I just can't watch them read it. I spent about a year or so on preparing that show, and dragged myself through a lot of my trauma of thousands of veterans I've talked to throughout the years. And yeah, it was tough. It was really difficult. And afterwards, it was difficult to kind of find myself again. We were talking about the veteran suicide, and the work I've been doing with that. I've noticed people see suicide and they run away.
Scary.
And I get it, but it's something that needs to be discussed. So I think we need to engage in connection more. I think that that's the biggest thing is we need to be compassionate. We need to engage in connection. Even the Zoom right now, like I'm feeling a lot better right now than I did before we got on here. Like I'm like, what am I going to talk about? I feel like I'm in a bad place with my art right now mentally, but you're saying all these wonderful things about me and it's making me feel better about me, you know? And it's like maybe this is what I needed to kick my butt out of my funk and I wouldn't say keep creating because I haven't stopped, but increase my production rates or whatever. I don't know.
Colin, I think it's real. And this is one of the reasons I just love spending time and talking with you every time that I get the opportunity. We talked about this being um, a discussion of using art as therapy for veterans. And what you remind us is it's an ongoing process. It is not as if someone's going to discover this and that vaults them beyond the issues that that they need to deal with, but that it's an ongoing process, that it's a progressive process, and that making movement in that direction is what's the most important foundation. So thank you for sharing that with us. I really appreciate it. And I love you for it, man. How about you, Edward? What are your thoughts?
It is therapeutic in the way that it takes some of those concerns that I have and it actually puts them into realization,
Mhm.
put some of those anxieties into realization. I think, Veteran Comic Con provides a space for veterans to also give themselves some exposure. I think veterans are selfless and oftentimes won't celebrate their own. I spent the career trying to highlight the work of our active duty members, right? Put them in front of my camera and talk about all the great things that they do. And what I've typically come to find is that they're bashful, shy, and selfless in the work that they do. And so Veteran Comic Con and venues like it and just getting with other veterans, I think it's an opportunity for them to sort of come out of a shell and say, be able to say like, yeah, I made this, and I want to share it, and I want to share it with a broader audience. And so I would say, to veterans who are on the fence on whether or not, especially if you're in the Bay Area and Veteran Comic Con is happening, come, right? Just bring yourself there. And again, if you are a veteran, hey, if you have something to share, the table's gonna get offered to you. So take a table, present your work, and let people celebrate your experience.
Well, listen, you guys, I've really enjoyed the time spent. I hope that our audience will also enjoy the time that they afford to listening to your stories, hearing about your experiences, and just the valuable, critical information that you guys have brought to the forefront. I want to let everybody know how excited we are at Veteran Comic Con to host panels like this for you on a regular or semi-regular basis. I need to also let you know that this has been a particularly challenging year for Veteran Comic Con, as it has in a number of places. A lot of funds that were formerly available through grants and other sources are no longer available. And we at Veteran Comic Con have experienced the challenge of raising enough funds to continue this year to have our live event in its full beauty and excitement that we've had in past events. We are not daunted, however. We are committed to the path of growing and hosting Veteran Comic Con for the veteran community. And so we have established a GoFundMe page that if you are so inclined, we would love it if you can go to the GoFundMe page and at whatever level is your ability, and anything that you can provide in terms of support will help make that possible. So I want to thank my guests, Ed and Colin and Kathryn, for joining me today and having this wonderful and insightful conversation. I want to thank all of you who have taken the time to watch and learn from this panel discussion. And I want to thank all of you that are and will become supporters of Veteran Comic-Con. Again, I'm Billy Anderson. I appreciate you. I love being the voice of Veteran Comic-Con. And hopefully we'll see you very soon. God bless.